Good afternoon, folks. Ari here from Direct Auto Outlet in Fair Oaks, California. I have this gorgeous 1994 Mercedes Benz 500 SL for you today. This is one of my favorite all-time vehicles in history. This is the R129 Mercedes SL, one of the last solid tank-like vehicles that Mercedes made in the SL body style. This will be a test drive video, demo, and review. We do also have an in-depth walk-around review of this vehicle on our website, where you can click on and get a YouTube link to see that. So for demonstration of all the ins and outs and more in-depth walk-around of the video, make sure to watch that video. This one will be a test drive video. We'll take you along with us and we'll document all of our views and feelings and opinions of the vehicle as we get behind the wheel and demo it. Please join us for that. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. As I mentioned in my walk-around video, this vehicle is a 10-footer. And what I mean by a 10-footer is this vehicle looks beautiful from 10 feet away, but from up close, there are lots of signs of imperfections, chips, dings, smudges, areas of dull paint throughout the vehicle. It is not pristine, so please know that this is not a cherry vehicle. I kind of shared the story of how I obtained this vehicle originally. This vehicle was purchased actually really only for the purposes of me using the wheels that it came with. It had a very high dollar set of AMG wheels on it that I wanted. I am a Mercedes Benz collector and I did want those wheels for another project that I was working on. I purchased the vehicle sight unseen, thinking that worst case scenario, I'll use the vehicle as a parts car. Best case scenario, it'll make someone a nice car. The vehicle, fortunately, far exceeded my expectations. It runs great. It breezed through California smog, which is one of the most difficult in the country. The vehicle works beautifully. The power top works really nicely. The transmission shifts smooth. The engine is nice and strong. The small back window on the top does have an imperfection on there, a crack on there, and there is a little bit of yellowing around the back windows, but does also come with a nice stereo, and it does have a nice CD in there that works as well. The vehicle's overall quite impressive, and so we decided to offer it to the public with a few disclaimers that, hey, it's not perfect. There are some imperfections. There is a button missing right over here. This would allow this to be able to tilt forward and back. There are some imperfections on the trim as well. The hood of the vehicle is a little bit dull as far as the paint goes. First observation is that it's actually quite smooth, easy to drive. Not a lot of road noise. Mercedes-Benz is, of course, known for sound dampening. It shifts really smooth. Power comes on quite nicely and smoothly, and lots of it. The 5-liter V8 engine that this one has in it was one of the best and most reliable engines that Mercedes-Benz produced. They are smooth, they are quiet, they are fairly efficient for being a V8. Stepping on the brakes here, I don't notice any shimmying on the steering wheel, no shaking on the front end, which would indicate any warpage on the rotors. Getting nice and quiet at about 55 miles per hour. Going down these twisty and turny roads, vehicle performs beautifully. So it makes someone a great weekend cruiser. As a second or third vehicle just to have around, 60 miles per hour, nice and smooth. Would make a great weekend cruiser, an additional vehicle. A little bit of fun in the sun in the summertime. We do have a great Mercedes-Benz mechanic in Roseville we can recommend. We've been using him for over 20 years. He's very knowledgeable and very reasonable in price. He makes owning a vehicle like this doable, and if you had to rely on the Mercedes-Benz dealer to maintain and service these vehicles, they would not really make sense, unfortunately, which is why a lot of people steer clear of these vehicles when they get a little bit older, such as this one. This particular stretch of road has lots of potholes and uneven pavement. This particular stretch really puts the suspension of the vehicle through its paces. As you can see, this vehicle is just floating over these potholes and these uneven streets in Mercedes-Benz fashion. this was still one of those classic Mercedes Benzes that had their quality up to par. This is during the era that Mercedes Benz engineers had free reign over the decision-making capabilities of the company, and they produced some of the most reliable and greatest cars on the road during this era. Unfortunately, it's really not the case with the next body styles. I'll pull over here to be able to do a pull going up this hill, 0 miles per hour. We'll go ahead and see how it does. So you can hear the screeching of the tires. This thing still has a lot of power. Miles per hour with no effort whatsoever. Again, the brakes are nice and firm. This thing just cruises. These wheels and tires that are on the vehicle currently were takeoffs off of a different one. They are obviously used. Probably use a balance, although the tires probably just haven't been used for a few months, several months, so they may not be completely smooth as of yet with a little bit of driving. They should smooth out, and if not, a balance may be required. Balancing these tires will cost you about $10 per tire, but I would first recommend maybe putting about 100 miles on them or so. As they round out as you drive, they usually smoothen up. Typically, tires that are not being used will get a little bit harder and oftentimes form a spot on the bottom where it was making contact with the floor, where it becomes flat and uneven. But that smooths out as you drive and as you operate the vehicle. There's just a very, very subtle shimmy on the wheel at the higher speeds when we got up to about 65, 70. Nothing below that, and when I've had the vehicle up to about 80 miles per hour, 85 miles per hour, that smooths out as well. So there's just a little spot right around 65 where the tires are slightly out of balance, but that should be an easy fix. Suspension does quite well over the bumps and over the speed bumps and over these hills. The vehicle is just smooth and a pleasure to drive at really any speed or any condition. Again, if you're looking for a nice car, you know, not a cherry, but a nice car to drive on the weekend, something to have a little bit of fun with, something that looks like $1 million from 10 feet away, this is your best bet. These vehicles are and have been gradually increasing in price throughout the years, and this was obviously, we're going to take that into consideration, the condition of the vehicle when we're pricing it. It's not going to be quite as high as some of the other ones on the market. However, I'd say it's probably just about in the same condition as the average one on the market. Some of the ones in my collection are obviously mint condition. This is not one of those, but you know, it's quite nice. In any case, please do consider subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this content. And please hit the bell notification icon to be notified of all of our future videos. I do want to thank you for taking the time to look at our video today. We look forward to seeing all of your questions and comments in the comment section. If there are any additional content or things that you would like to see on this vehicle or any others, please leave that in the comment section as well, and we would be happy to accommodate. I want to thank each and every one of you for spending your time with us, and we certainly wish you guys a wonderful day. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.